everyone, this is Crypto Maximalist. Welcome back to another video. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and get involved if you like the content. So we're just taking a look at VeChain here, and as we can see, if we just zoom in here so you can see what's going on, we are starting to see a little bit of upwards movement for VeChain in correlation with the market, which is nice to see. Obviously Bitcoin having a very decent rally over the past week or so, heading up a few $1,000s. You know, things have been looking a little bit more spicy in the markets. Obviously, for the most part, nothing is happening at all in our opinion until we see ourselves breaking out of these key levels of resistance and essentially this range for most cryptocurrencies that they have been stuck in. You can see here for VeChain, we've been in a bit of a range, really looking something like this, where basically this is the top of the range. We come down, obviously we've formed our range like this, top, bottom, we come back up, we test the top, we've tested the bottom again, and now looking like with a bit of bullishness in the market, we are probably going to see VeChain starting to break out of the EMAs, which we have seen here, breaking out of the 20 and the 55, hopefully back testing and heading up to test some resistances. But for the most part, we can tell VeChain not been looking too bad, has it? Obviously, no one likes to see a chart like this when we're down 95% from the all-time high, 92% from the all-time high, which is a very significant amount, obviously. But looking like we have had an extended period of consolidation and sideways movement here. Very boring. A lot of people getting shaken out of the market. The volume is extremely low. As you can see here, the volume tailoring off massively over the past 6 months or so. Heading sideways in the market, looking very boring. Not financial advice, of course, but this is usually the best time to buy. I mean, if we look back here, there was times where VeChain was going sideways for basically a number of years. A few years during the last bear market, only to move up an insane amount from this low, let's just say 1.5 cent low of the COVID crash, all the way up to 28, almost 30 cents. So essentially a 30x gain there, or a 20x gain, I should say. Let me just measure this actually, because my brain is not working right now. So if we're at it's not even 1 cent, it's 1/10 of a cent. So if we're saying we're 1/10 of a cent, then up to 1 cent's a 10x. So that means it's a 300x. Which is a very significant amount off that low. If it was 1 cent up to 30 cents, that would be I'm sorry, I literally, my brain is not working right now. 1/10 of a cent up to 1 cent is essentially a 10x, and then up to 30 cents, yeah, it's essentially a 300x if it was 1 cent, 1.5 cents. So let's just say 150x from that low to that high. Let's just say 100x to be conservative. 100x gains after, you know, this long period of consolidation. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to do 100x gains from here, but I mean, you could easily see VeChain heading up towards that previous all-time high at, you know, 30 cents. That's a really nice 10x from now, isn't it? And then, you know, if you saw yourselves heading up towards those larger extensions up towards that $1 psychological level that most people do think VeChain could reach in the long term, that's a 50x from now, isn't it? Which is an absolutely insane gain. If you threw $1,000 in this and it did a 50x, that's 50k from only $1,000 risk, which is pretty interesting in our opinion. Not saying any of this is going to happen, of course, and we're a long way away from bullish market momentum in general, but we're showing signs of heading into a bottom here, aren't we? Potentially a double bottom like this. Depending on what happens next for VeChain, you can see the bullish divergences off the low. The MACD looking a bit more positive as well. Looking something like this, where essentially we've come up, chopped sideways, and now probably going to head up to the upside to retest some resistances. So you can see here we've broken out some key levels of resistance as well. Looking something like this, you can see resistance. We broke out, back tested the range low and that resistance to support. We test the high of the range again, where we do get rejected, and we're under another resistance here that we have formed like this. We come down, we break out of that resistance, back test again, the bottom of the range, getting above our EMAs now after we've broken out of this, heading up to retest another key level of resistance at around this 2.5 cent level, which is, you know, basically our next target, isn't it? If we're breaking up towards this key level of resistance, horizontal resistance looking something like this, if I can draw. And also, you know, we've got that trend line resistance as well. So this key level here will be very interesting to see what happens. Obviously, if we did rip right through this and start heading up towards the top of the range again, we're going to be looking more and more bullish, aren't we? But obviously, a lot of altcoins lagging behind Bitcoin right now, and those top altcoins, anything top 10, 20, has been fairly highly correlated with higher volume, but these lower volume altcoins right now that people have lost interest in for the most part are lagging behind in terms of their price action. But we all know that these kinds of altcoins do move after the whole market starts to move. And if we do see Bitcoin start to move to the upside in any big way, then it's going to be interesting to see what happens next, isn't it? So overall price targets for VeChain, we do think now that we've broken out above our EMAs like this, we're probably going to be heading up towards that next level, key level of resistance. 2.6 cents obviously being the key one. This level here will be critical in being broken out of. If we do see ourselves coming up to this, back testing, maybe breaking out, back testing, heading up to the top of the range. Our target overall, considering what we're looking at from the other cryptos in the market that are leading the market, Bitcoin, etc., we're probably going to see the top of the range being tested fairly soon, which is up at around that 3.5 cent level. But if we do see ourselves rolling over, as we always say, down back to the bottom of this range, probably around that 2.1, 2.2 cent level as the next target. So overall, VeChain, it's looking fine. It's doing what it needs to do. It's just chopping sideways for now with low volume, waiting for its moment, basically. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you everyone for watching. Make sure to check out the links in the description below to support the channel. Grab yourself some free money bonuses, and we'll see you in the next video.